Hello and a very, very happy Russian Christmas to you today from Camelot Castle. And here we are just about to sit down to our Russian Christmas dinner. We've got roast goose, roast duck, Russian salad, all sorts of things. But I thought I'd come on live because a lot of you around the world, a lot of our friends are joining us tonight. We have now been unbanned from YouTube, so hello to all of our YouTube visitors. We were in YouTube prison for 14 days. And of course the amount of censorship at the moment is very... the amount of censorship that is occurring on planet Earth today is of great concern, I know, to a lot of you. Many of you have noticed that President Trump has been censored on Twitter. He's been banned from Twitter, he's been banned from Facebook, and so have his family. And this, of course, is very alarming to those of us that understand the importance of free speech. Many of you witnessed the events in Washington, D.C., and many of you are aware that the story that is being put out by the mainstream media is not in any way accurate as to what really occurred. I know many people who were at that event in Washington, and they told me that it was very, very peaceful. It was a tiny, tiny number of people who, were causing problems, and I think there is even question as to whether or not all of the people that entered the Capitol were in fact Trump supporters. On my Twitter account, for those of you that follow me on Twitter, you can see. I'm not going to say these things on here because I really don't want to get banned, and I want to be able to stay in touch with all of you. But there is some fantastic news today, and the good news is that the world, this is a new beginning. Many of you out there have seen things yesterday that you've never seen before. And many of you have woken up to a whole new level of what is actually going on. Now, I said that 2020 is the year that we all found out what is what and who is who. And 2021, of course, is going to be the year that we do something about it. And of course, my dear friend and charming son Caspian is joining me on the broadcast. Do you have something? Don't do that. What would you like to say? No. What would you like to say to our friends? What would you like to say? You see, here's the thing. Life goes on pretty much as usual, and it will continue, you know. And there is much and a great deal to be thankful for. No. Come on, darling. Come on. I'm going to come and join you for dinner. Nanny, could you help our young Caspian? I'm just trying to... No. I'm going to tickle you to death. I'm going to tickle you to death. So what we're trying to tell our friends is just how positive today is. And however negative things seem to you, do remember there is always a bright side and a silver lining to every situation. See, look, somebody's saying hello. Joe Robinson is saying hello, John and Caspian. Michelle is saying hello, Caspian. Somebody says you're an awesome, sweet child. Possibly. You definitely are, darling. You're a lovely, sweet child. A lovely, sweet child. Don't stick your tongue out at the guests. That is very rude, darling. Don't do that. So anyway, Juliet says hello. See, Caspian reminds us all to smile and laugh. And that's the funny thing. What we have to realise, Caspian is not at all, he doesn't get involved with Facebook and other than interrupting my broadcasts. He doesn't get involved at all. And he's not on Twitter every day. So, somebody wants to hear a roar from you. Somebody says, hello Caspian, how are your roars today? Can you do a roar? Oh, very good roar, darling. Excellent. Excellent roar. Excellent roar. Now, it is not the easiest thing to do to discuss matters of geopolitical importance. Caspian, but you sit there and we will go on now. All I would like to tell you is that the most important thing to take away from this is to remember that there are a whole load of people out there that have woken up, that have seen what is going on. They're witnessing the banning of President Trump on Facebook. They're witnessing the banning of President Trump on Twitter. This does not pass people by. And the funny thing is once somebody has woken up, they don't go back to sleep again. You know, they become what is called aware. They become enlightened. There are several things that I would like to suggest each and every one of you do. If you have not read the book Dianetics, which you can find at dianetics.org or dianetics.com. Now, darling, come on. No. Come on, darling. Okay, darling, okay. Vicky Johnson is with us. Vicky Nonsense. Caspian is taller than me now. Yes, he is. Getting very nearly taller. There are all sorts of people communicating all sorts of things. What I would ask you to do is keep your own counsel, but if you have not read Dianetics, do take the time to read Dianetics and to make sure that you understand it. Darling, either sit... Darling, could you just sit quietly while I... there we go. So, did you have something that you wanted to say? Other than sneezing? No? What did you want to say? Oh, I love you. Okay. Darling, Nanny, could you perhaps... take a look at those the new pyjamas that have arrived. Look at those. Those are absolutely fascinating. Now, I'm sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen. We are having this is Russian Christmas. You see here. What have we prepared for Russian Christmas, darling? Caspian. We've got goose. We have got. Darling, people are going to be very confused as to why your tongue is out. Okay. So I just really want to do a quick broadcast to say, don't worry, everything will be completely fine. President Trump will be fine. America will be fine. It's all going to work out fine because truth will find a way of getting through. Now, what can you do? Well, you can keep doing the right thing in your life every day. You can call up your friends. You can make sure, get 10 people around you to read Dianetics. What Dianetics does is it shows you how the deep state brainwashes individuals. Darling, have you taken your shoe off? Oh, you can't do that on the carpet. Oh, well, never mind. We'll fix that later. Now, Dianetics has this amazing capacity to reveal to each and every one of you how is it that entire nations get brainwashed. The mechanisms of the deep state. You know, the deep state is now fully in view. We can all see exactly what happened. You know, go through Twitter, go through my Twitter account. You know, there's many people now communicating. Many people are communicating about what happened. And, you know, it is important to do your own research and to share that research with other people. But what I would say to you today, and I think this is very, very important, don't allow the current situation to get you down. You know, that's what the suppressives want. And if you're having difficulty doing that, do read Dianetics. Do make sure that you have the tools to stay positive when everything around you is falling to pieces, perhaps. And I understand that there are people out there that are depressed. I understand that there are people that are worried about what happened in Washington yesterday. I understand that the young lady who got killed, her family is having a terrible time. And I do understand that. And I deeply, deeply feel for how all of you feel. And I feel you all. And I do understand this. But equally, we can never, ever, ever give up. We can never give up. And it is so important that we stay positive in this time. We're going to be here at Camelot Castle. We're going to be broadcasting as often as we can. And the other good news is we now have a fantastic brand new website at DGB, which I will show you now. As you know, Irina and I, here it is, there it is, the Dutch Green Business, DGB, and you can go on that website, which is dgb.earth, and you can plant a tree with DGB now. And I can tell you this, what we're going to be doing in the next 10 months is we have now helped to create a fantastic financial instrument that helps bring about the reforestation of planet Earth. And one of the things that all of us can do to strengthen life is to empower trees, get more trees planted. Somebody says, when are we taking our Christmas tree down? Well, we're very lucky here because my wife is Russian, so we get to celebrate Russian Christmas and then Russian New Year. Russian Christmas and Russian New Year. Thanks, Christine. There is the thing for DGB, DGB Earth, and you can go on there and you can plant a tree with DGB. And what I'm trying to say is that there is no point getting upset in any way with the current situation, because it's not bad news, it's good news. We are seeing, the average person is seeing what the governments of Earth are doing. They've been doing it for decades. They've been planning wars, they've been spending money on the military, the military-industrial complex. I think this is important to understand. Military-industrial complex is 1.6 trillion a year worldwide. That's the spend on weaponry on this planet. Now, somewhere, sometime, somehow, that weaponry is being used up. And it gets used up in wars and conflicts and disturbances. And then it has to be replaced. It's a whole industry. Same with a big pharma. That's $1 trillion a year worldwide, roughly. So these drugs have to be used, so you need illnesses and these types of things. It's so important to just look at all this stuff, just sit back for a second and look at who is causing these things and what is actually going on. And then once you've taken a really good look at it, decide, well, what can you do about it? What can you do to help shape the future? And one of the things that we have realized is that there is actually an incredible amount of land on planet Earth that is just not used at all. For instance, the Northern Sahara. There's a depression there which could be irrigated. It's called the Qatar Depression. And the French had a plan to irrigate the Qatar Depression for many, many years, since 1970 actually. Jules Verne talked about it in his novels. That could provide food for another 3 billion people on planet Earth and feed the entire planet. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be focusing on positive projects. If any of you out there have positive projects that you would like us to look at here at Camelot Castle, we are planning to have the most productive year here that we have ever had. And Irina has got a whole restoration project going in the hotel. The plan is within a year to have every single room here done and restored at Camelot. So let's focus on the positive things. And if you do know of anybody that is depressed, please read Dianetics, find out how the mind works, and then get as many copies of that book out to as many people as you can. And let's get into doing positive things. You know, politics is a very, very, very small part of life. A lot of us on here are interested in politics. There's nothing wrong with it. But it's a very, very small part of life. And eventually, you know, even over here in England, the general public will get bored of running around wearing masks and playing the game that they've got going with the coronavirus. And they will decide that, you know, life will take a different path. And at that point, things will change. Well, how can you affect that? Well, you can affect that by simply being positive, by not engaging in it, by refusing to get upset and alarmed. Because every time you get upset and alarmed about one of these things, all you're really doing is feeding the enemy. So don't feed him. You know, don't read their newspapers, don't watch their televisions. Don't bother with it. You'll feel a whole lot better. Today, I woke up this morning, and of course I was following what occurred in America, and I went to bed thinking, you know, really this is not that good. And I woke up this morning, I thought, you know what, I'm going to go out and have a lovely walk. I'm going to get outside, and I'm going to not think about these things. And I'm just going to enjoy the fact that it's Russian Christmas. We've got Russian salad for dinner. We've got, what is it called? Goose, roast goose with apples and all sorts of other delicious things. Duck. Vicky Johnson says, so why are there hardly any trees around your castle? Very, very good question, Vicky. We have tried. But the wind here comes straight in off the Atlantic. And sadly, they just do not grow here. We have some gorse bushes and some very old pines that have taken in a little enclave. But when you are exposed to 120 mile an hour winds from the Atlantic, you can't grow them. But we're growing trees in country. That's where we're growing trees. So take the time to look over the DGB website, the Dutch Green Business. You can find it at dgb.earth. And take a look at that. Lots of good news happening. Yes, that's right, Jan. You see strong winds in Cornwall. Trees don't like it on the coast. Absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But slightly inland, we've got some lovely woodlands, and we're doing our bit to restore those. Somebody says, try planting eucalyptus. They'll withstand enormous wind speeds. Well, maybe we will. We haven't tried eucalyptus. Jan says, some of the trees are growing bent. It's hard to grow trees. Italy did it. Yes, there is something interesting about Italy. So, we might not have trees, but we have the most wonderful looking maze. Well, there we go. What does Dianetics mean? Dianetics? Well, you can Google Dianetics, and you can find the website dianetics.com. It was a book that was written in 1950, and it's the best book ever written on how the human mind works, and it happens to be a cure for depression. So if anybody out there that you know is feeling a little bit depressed, there is a book called Dianetics and a video about Dianetics which will help them get over and stay positive. Very, very important to stay positive at this time and find out what it is that we, each of us, can do to improve the situation. People ask me, how on earth is it, John, that you can remain positive in spite of all possible reasons to get annoyed and so on and so forth? And, I just realized that some time ago that certain factors on planet Earth are just designed to sort of stick pins in you and bullbait you. And I refuse to get bullbaited. I refuse to rise in the face of any form of adversity or confusion. So important to just stay positive. So that is my message for you today. For those of you that are saying, well, we need to fight, it's war and so on and so forth, I would say no. Use your intelligence, use your minds, realize what is going on, start educating people, understand how communism is being used to infiltrate our societies. Take the time to see and understand who it is that is attacking us and why they're attacking our societies, and then get effective and do something about it. And if you use your intelligence, you don't need to resort to violence. President Trump was very, very fast to call out anybody who, was not protesting peacefully. And, we absolutely 100% agree with him on that. So you're right, Michelle, the truth will prevail. The truth will prevail. So, anyway, let's see what happens. Let's enjoy this period of time that we have to reflect on things. Let's look into the future and let's decide exactly how we want to create it. It's lovely being with you, and that's my little update for today. It's all good, it's all positive, and the best is yet to come.